Cool. Everything should be a go. Mic audio's checking out. Game audio looks like that's checking out. Got the Twitter post up. Got the serial poured. Got the 6-star arena going. Rolling with the punches. It's Monday night. How's it going, everybody? Happy Labor Day. I'm vonShoe. I'm grinding for a 6-star featured Medusa champion. She is exclusive, brand new to the game, and she is very solid. Coming off of the weekend loss of the MOAR Basic Arena, wound up placing 102nd, which is unfortunate. But, you know, gotta roll with the punches, and that's how it goes. But, you know, I'm ever the optimist, and it's going to be a busy week here. We also got Kitty Pryde joining the contest officially a little bit later on this week, which is going to be pretty cool. And, you know, I wouldn't mind adding a 5- or 6-star version of her to the collection as well. Of course, because she synergizes so perfectly with Tigra, who synergizes so well with Elsa, who is, of course, my favorite champion in the game. So it'd be nice to have a nice little trinity there. But I hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome to the stream. Happy Monday again. I want to say big howdy, big welcome to Ben, saying, can't believe you're going for a Medusa. Me neither, but, you know, either rolling with the punches or I'm an idiot, one or the other. Probably both. Dirt popping in saying, hey buddy, I'm super happy because I just duped my 6-star Colossus. Dude, that's awesome. That is awesome. Congratulations. That is a solid pull. Now, are you thinking of rank 3ing Colossus, rank 2ing him? What's the plan? I'm the one who missed Penny with 159. Ouch. Gave up Medusa grind, want to take a break from Arena. I think that's actually that's never a bad thing. I am really sorry to hear about the Penny Arena because I know how that goes. I'm not talking about MOAR, I'm talking about like missing out on a featured champion. I know how that goes. But honestly, sometimes it's the best thing you can do. I mean, for your own sake, and just like for the enjoyment of the game, is taking that step back. It is taking a bit of a breather, you know. Because I've done that a number of times. Once was after missing the featured champ. Another time was like playing, I think, like a heavy, like couple weeks straight between like, oh no, it was right after the Legends run for 7-2. I was just so absolutely burnt out of the game. I just didn't want to see it. I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to play it. I wasn't having fun. It wasn't good. It was not good. But then it came back, you know, a little bit later, once I was feeling it again and wound up working out. He's already ranked 2, but he will get into rank 3 sometime in the future. Pretty far from a mutant tier 5 CC. He's a solid choice when you get there, though. Super solid. Skull popping in. What up, Skull? Rob Von Cereal. Yes, it is this cereal stream here tonight. I've got Honeycomb cereal, courtesy of me, but it's made by Post. I was gonna say courtesy of Post. Like no, these guys aren't sponsoring this. I bought this. And it's like the 4th honey-based cereal that I've done on the cereal stream so far. This is week 37, I think. Just want to make sure that's a KO. There we go. Cheers, everybody. So initial thoughts on Honeycomb. Because the last time I had Honeycomb, they still had that, like, Crash Bandicoot looking mascot. So that's been a while. it's not sweet, like overtly sweet. I would kind of say it's like the LaCroix of honeyed cereals. It's like if I really focus in, you can taste like a hint of it. But it's so subtle. It's not bad, it's just subtle. Very, very subtle. I can grind Penny after 6 months in Basic Arena, which is much easier. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's a good way to look at it too. All these guys are going to be coming back around again from the featured. Case in point, Crossbones and was it Mr. Fantastic, and I forget whoever the third champ was, from the first buff arena are coming back around here in a couple few weeks. And I didn't wind up going for that because I don't want to do that grind. But if they're in the basic arena, well, that's a different story. See about picking up a Crossbones there. Skull 100% of the Summer of Pain finale. Nice, bud. Man, that already feels like that's been a lifetime ago. Summer of Pain. I miss it though. I really, really enjoyed that content. It was some of the most fair content I think they've put out. Fair in that it didn't gouge you energy cost. If you messed up, you could just back out, come back in again. No harm, no foul. And even though there was like one or two solid like god tier options for each boss, in most cases, most of the fights could be done with a number of other champions too, which is really nice. And the prizes were crazy. Taz says, good luck on the grind. Passing my first round luck. Nice. Give the bots Mercs hell. Absolutely. Taz, you want to go in Medusa first round? Not even Thronebreaker yet, which is sad, but I'm 12% away from a Science Tier 5 CC. Hey, there you go. Who are some of the options you're looking at? Good luck, Rob. Thank the bots. Yes. Any chance I get, I say a hearty thank you to bots. A hearty thank you to people who pilot and merc. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Mr. Smoke popping and saying, hello, Rob. What up, Mr. Smoke? Howdy, howdy. Welcome to the Serial Stream, and a happy Labor Day to all you guys out there. For those of you guys enjoying the holiday, hope the day has been a good one for you. Frickin' Nick, man. I think probably one of the least favorite things about arenas for me is how passive bots wind up playing. Like, I don't care about the fight at all. I'm not in it to have fun or for it to, well, that's a way to phrase it. I'm not looking to be challenged. I'm not looking for, you know, testing out like this extreme skill. Nah, dude. These guys are just like the roadblock between me and the points. So I just want to like keep on going, keep on trucking. So when I run into someone like Nick or Geely99 or Doom and Kingpin when I don't have like a solid option for them, it just slows everything down. Nathan says, how much do you think Kitty Pryde will go for? Top 100. Probably the same as Hercules. Probably, maybe a little bit less. Just because she doesn't have prestige like Hercules does. I'm going to say that her arena is going to be pretty crazy. But I don't know if she's going to go as high as Hercules. It's going to be close, but I don't think she's going to go as high, again, just because of the prestige. Dom popping in. Howdy, Rob. Howdy, Jet. Howdy, Dom. Good to see you, bud. Ben says, actually, I'm tempted to grind Kitty the first round. The Kitty Pride Arena is going to be nuts. It is going to be nuts. So fair warning to everybody who is considering and who is going to be grinding for Kitty Pride in either of the arenas, the first or the second. That arena is going to be another one of those where people put up 120, 130 million and miss. So if you are okay with the possibility of that being you, then go, yeah, absolutely, good luck. But it's going to be a painful arena. It's going to be very painful. Nice, Taz. I'm happy for you, bud. I'm really happy for you. Hoping to get lucky and join you here in a couple of days. That being said, I have no plans of awakening Medusa or getting her awakened anytime soon. It's really just to have one, and then eventually when she comes back around in basic, or when she, I don't know, finds her way to either like a specialized cav crystal or whatever, get her woken up that way. Why did I put Wolverine against Iceman? Yeah, Torch, She-Hulk, Beardo. Almost 100% sure I'm going to go Torch rank 3. You should go Torch rank 3. Like 99, 100% sure to go Torch rank 3. Not saying that She-Hulk or Beardo are bad. It's just that Torch is going to wind up being, I think, used a lot more. So, and early congrats on that big rank up. Slayer popping in saying, hashtag Slayer sucks raid. But barely anyone showed up because we raided Hobbit right as he ended. Oh no. Well, I appreciate that raid, Slayer. I very much appreciate that. You brought up some very interesting points in your Hercules Space Ghost comparison video earlier. And I find it difficult to disagree with any of them. I mean, I agree. I think Hercules overall is a more well-rounded champion, I think. And as such, makes him better, quote-unquote. But at the end of the day, you know, you gotta play who you like. I mean, you are the Cosmic Ghost Rider guy. I'm the Elsa Bloodstone person. I mean, there's everybody else out there who, you know, who has their specific champion that they like. You gotta play who you like at the end of the day. CM popping in, part of the Slayer raid as well. Howdy, howdy. Good to see you, my friend. How's it going? Taffer says, put up a 137 for Medusa. Got her duped now. She is my gal. First ever 565. Yes. Yeah, me too. 5-star Medusa wound up getting me through so much content earlier on. You know, the armor break, armor shattered mechanic was absolutely, like, game breaking back then. And the synergies, the Inhuman synergy to boot, too, was stellar. So to get in on that again, it's the same reason and the same rationale I had going for a Stealth Spidey. You know? That even in 2021... they still are very, very good champions. So, you guys heard it here first. So next arena obviously is Kitty Pride, right? And then it's the off week. My initial guess is that the arena after Kitty Pride was going to be the reworks for Gamora and for Miles, but I think they're probably going to wind up combining reworks again for September and October, just because there's like 2 champions each month now. So that won't be till the next week. Right. So who are they going to fill in as the mystery champion? Well, my guess is that it's either going to be Voodoo or it's going to wind up being Ghost Rider. It's going to be another one of the throwback champions. My money's on Voodoo just because he's been in the game files longer. Ghost Rider and Hyperion are new this month, and they're probably going to show up in arenas next month, possibly. But man, that's going to be another toasty arena right there for Voodoo. Because much like Medusa and much like Stark Spidey, you get a huge benefit from being awakened. But we'll see. We'll see. First things first. Medusa first. Check the 99th person on the Medusa grind. It sucks big time that account getting a 6-star Medusa. Really? Why is that? Nathan says, how many 6 stars do you have? What's your most hunted champ right now? I have, I think 130 odd some. It's been a minute since I counted. But somewhere in there. Who is my most hunted after 6-star? I would probably say Void is my most sought after brand new champion, and a Tiger Awakening is probably my most sought after overall. Because she is at ring 3 right now, and I love using her at ring 3, but her awakened ability is so nice. It is so nice. So to get her awakened, even at Sig 20, is going to be fantastic. Fingers crossed. Yeah, let's do that. Really want Kitty Pryde. I have thoughts of grinding the 5-star for Arena, but nah, no thanks. Really, not even for the 5-star? I mean, granted, the cutoff is still going to be like 50, 60 mil, something like that for the 5-star, but in the featured arena, that's it's a little bit more straightforward than it used to be, I'll say. That being said, it still is arena, so I get that. Adam says, are you a Falcon fan? Thinking of taking him to ring 3. I am. I've got a Sig 20 Falcon at rank 3 right now. And I like using him because his 100% defensive ability accuracy reduction is really nice. But what I've found is that sometimes it's limited just because it only applies to defensive ability accuracy and not all-around ability accuracy. So it really depends on who you're fighting. Because I may wind up backfiring on you. That being said, the lock-on ability is really nice, and the awakening is extra nice as well, just because for longer matchups, or for longer and shorter matchups in general, you can get lock-on more often. There we go. So yeah, I like him. I like him. I don't regret that rank up. I don't use him as much as I'd like, but I don't regret it. Actually, Spider Ham against Mr. Fantastic was a really bad idea, too. Just gotta be aware of his evades. Alright, my dude, if you want to, like, throw that special, please. Thank you. Freaking evade. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Everybody's just evading all over the place. Stop it. There we go. Goodness. I healed up a lot, though. I almost finished that with full health despite getting slapped around a whole bunch. That's silly. A selector for Ghost Rider, Iceman, Voodoo, and Hyperion. That would break arenas. That would absolutely break arenas. Whenever Hyperion gets in arena, he's going to go for as much, if not more, than most other brand new featured 6 stars. I still can't believe that they're bringing that guy as a 6 star. Like, so here's where I'm coming from, right? Kabam wound up spending like the first chunk of 2021 like saying how OP some of these old champions are, you know. We're just barely seeing Wolverine and Scarlet Witch as 5 stars. We're never gonna see like Quake as a 6, you know, because it's just too overpowered. It's gonna break the game. And then in the same breath, they're like, okay, but you know, here's Hercules, here's Kitty Pryde. Here's all these other champions that... here's Cosmic Ghost Rider. Here's a bunch of other champions that just absolutely break the friggin' game. I don't know. Like, it's cool to see Hype as a 6 star. It just pokes such huge holes in that argument. I don't get it. I don't get it. Wish you luck, says Rob. I went for mcoc, scored 45 million, was 118. Sent a ticket and they were mentioning brackets to me. Kabam has no clue what's going on. Kabam support doesn't. Kabam support doesn't. It's 2 completely separate entities. I don't disagree with you overall, but to be fair, it's two separate services. Like, they contract out to somebody else for support. That being said, the fact that there hasn't been a single official announcement from Kabam on the arena botting situation, despite like them being fully well aware of how bad it is. You know, it's one thing if 30% of your top 200 are bots. It's another thing to have 30% of your top 60 to 100 be bots. You know, it just kills the competitive spirit of the game, you know? It's like I was mentioning in the video a little bit earlier, like I used to be huge on COD, right? Huge on COD. Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2. And I got in on Modern Warfare 2 about halfway through its life cycle, right? So I got out, and that's right about when Black Ops came out. Right, that the aimbots were really starting to take over Modern Warfare 2, and then they stopped supporting it, and then it was just, that was it. Like, you start a match and people are just one-shotting you in like completely obvious ways, and they just gave up. They just weren't monitoring, they weren't kicking, they weren't banning. And everybody else wound up falling out. So, I mean, you know, it killed global, it killed the competitive spirit, it killed the multiplayer experience. And I'm afraid that's what could wind up happening here if they don't get out in front of this, you know, and say something, do something. Because 30% is bad, but that doesn't mean it's not going to get worse. It's to the point now where you can't even blame the bots anymore. Willful ignorance is just as bad as, you know, the botting in the first place. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm sorry that you missed, bud. Reaper saying, what up, Shu? So I finished part 2 of the Shang-Chi challenge last night. I've got a newfound appreciation and love for Corvus. His Awaken ability is so OP for that challenge. Yep, that's probably who I'm going to wind up using too when I do it. Because the fact that you got to do all those fights straight back to back to back to back, it just makes sense. You know, save some pots, save some resources for Karinas, for 7-3, for whatever. You may as well. I've got 57 sixes and 156 fives. Nice. Buddy says, I've got a hard time putting up 50, 60 mil. By the way, the Kitty Pride synergy with Tigra really helps Tigra at lower sig if you do pull that dupe. That's really good. That's really cool to hear. Prolonging her buffs is going to be super, super helpful. Like, she's really good as it is, but the synergy is just like the icing on top, the cherry on top, you know? It's like, yeah, there we go. Man, that Trinity is just so busted. In the best possible way. Like, there is very little that one of those three wouldn't be able to take care of. And if there is something that they can't take care of, well, you got 2 extra spots on your roster to supplement. It's very cool. Dude, says Hobbit, I found Berry Kicks at the store today. Dude, I haven't heard of that in ages. Been searching for years. I thought they discontinued it. It's so good. Now, I mean, you're sure it's a new box and not something that's been hiding behind the shelf for a few years? I'm playing, of course, but that's really cool. I wish I could find it. I was looking for it because, I mean, they've got like Oops All Berries for Captain Crunch, and that's probably going to be on one of these weeks here coming up. But the kicks I haven't seen in ages. Taz says, I called it a week ago. Hype will break the 6-star arena record. Maybe. It's going to be up there. It's going to be up there. Let's do that. Too overpowered for Act 5, maybe. That's where they're using them 100%. Not naming names. That's funny. Nigel asks, are 6 stars not worth more points in Arena anymore? Mine aren't scaling. They aren't worth extra points in the basic Arena. They still get the regular extra points in the 6-star featured, but in the basic Arena, they've got the same point structure as 5 stars. And the reasoning for that, and this is the official reasoning, is that by limiting the amount of points that 6 stars can get and capping them to what 5 stars can get, it'll give up-and-coming players who are still developing early 6-star rosters, a better competitive edge. So that's why it got cut off at the knees. Now, granted, my own personal 2 cents is that that's a load of crock. Because if you got somebody who coming in with 2 6 stars, and at that point, probably like maybe, I don't know, just say 20 5 stars that are either rank 5 and rank 4 combined, going up against, well, me, say, with a very healthy 6-star roster in addition to all those 5s, that's not fair. That's not evening the playing field. If you wanted to do that, you'd cut 6 stars out of the equation entirely. You know, just make it 5 stars only. Because then, I mean, the new players still would need to wind up refreshing and refreshing and refreshing to keep up with somebody who keeps, like, using 6 stars and not needing to. It makes no sense to me. I don't understand it. It's either get rid of the 6s or have the 6s play like normal. One or the other. Nothing else makes sense. Redwood popping in saying, yo, what up, all? Howdy, howdy, Redwood. How you doing, my friend? Happy Monday. To be fair, the game has been a wreck, so they might have ignored the arena stuff for the time being. Not that it's the right approach, but probably the reason why the bots are raining right now. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It's just unfortunate. And unfortunate is like the nicest way, or nicest thing I could say about it. It's unfortunate. Naranjon says, yo, what up, Naranjon? Welcome to the Monday cereal stream. How you doing? Might go for the 5-star Nimrod. We'll see. I like his synergies a lot. I probably will too. Get the 5-star version. Plus, it's nice to have a tech champion who can finally like stand up to Magneto. Magneto's finally getting like the blade nerf, not really a nerf, but still kind of a nerf treatment. Whoop. And I personally am okay with it. Just because there are, including Nimrod, only 4 tech champions in the entire game that can counter or have a class advantage over Magneto. So it's Nimrod, Star-Lord, Yondu, and Rocket Raccoon. Those are the only 4 tech champions with a class advantage that aren't metal. Which is kind of crock. So it's nice to at least have one more in there. Just for balance sake. Ranked up my Corvus to 455, used my Cosmic Awakening gem on him. I used mainly Aegon and Corvus for the entirety of part 2. Solid choices. But, I mean, also at the end of the day, the important thing is that it's done. Super Duper Boo asks, what up, Rob? Von102. Having a good grind? So far. I mean, it's day 1, and day 1 is always like going in bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Day 2 is the one that absolutely sucks. Then day 3, it's like you see the light at the end of the tunnel, and then it's out of your hands at that point. You just gotta hope for the best. Imagine a new player getting a 6-star Hyperion. Somebody is. Maybe. Like somebody who's just like a brand new Cavalier player could pull a 6-star hype. But because they've got like the progression, whatchamacallit, gate for the 6-star version of that crystal, I don't think someone who just started up an account would be able to get them. Unless it gets added to like the gifting crystals later on that everybody can get. Yeah, let's do that. Nathan says, I want to grind for top 100, but it'll take me a lot of Odins. 3 Odins can be enough to pull that champ from the crystals, so I never grind. That's the thing. That's the trade-off, and that really is the question that the community and each of us need to grapple with when, you know, going hard for a champion, is that you could get lucky. You could absolutely pull the 6-star version of the featured champion out of a batch of 5, a batch of 10. I mean, you see the screenshots all over the place, and you see other people posting crazy openings on YouTube where they just get super lucky. But those are the exception. Odds are, you know, well, looking at other people's videos, you can go like 3, 4, 5 Odins deep without pulling a 6-star, period, let alone the sub-featured 6-star, let alone the featured 6-star. And then by that point, then you're completely up the creek because you got nothing and you're out of units for a grind. So it's a gamble. it's definitely a gamble. Maybe it works out, maybe not. I think it winds up boiling down to more of like time restrictions and whatnot, you know? Like, do you have the time to put up that many points? It's wild. It's both systems are so broken and exploitative, each in their different ways. Calf crystals are terribly overpriced with horrible drop rates relative to the cost for them. And the arena is plagued by bots, pilots, mercs for the low milestones, and hyperinflated at the top because it is purposefully limited to only 100 prizes for however many tens of thousands of people play the game. So they get you one way or the other. I reran the cheat challenge today on stream, and if you got a ranked Black Panther, he's really good and fun for Hitmonkey. Solid, buddy. I've got a 455, so I might take him in for fun, just for kicks, see how that goes. Jesus, Ben. One of my alliance mates did not get Penny after using 40 Odins. The other one got Hercules after using 80 Odins. Jesus Christ, dude. Jesus Christ. That is unreal. Like, I know Cow Whale had some really big openings back when he was streaming, like, a couple years back, right? Where he did, I think he did 40, but 80 is absurd. That is positively absurd to come up short, too. Man. That would... Yeah. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know how they feel about that. Because I was just pulling them once, let alone needing to get them awakened. Cyber says, hey Rob, and oh, Honeycombs. It's a personal favorite of mine. Nice, Cyber. It's not bad. It is the most mild of the 4 honey-based cereals I've had so far, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just the most mild. So it's nice as something that's like, you know, just something to nom on. I'm surprised that didn't get me or kill me. Puts me in a good range for getting both of my my stances active, so that's a plus. Meatball says, hey Rob, how's your day been? It's been really nice. It's been a really, really nice Labor Day. I got to spend it with the family, which is always a big plus. Get a little extra R&R in before the rest of the work week kicks in, and, you know, have a good time doing it too. How's yours been? Small Turkey, any advice for high school? So far it sucks, especially because of Spanish. What year of high school? Because funnily enough, it makes a difference between if you're like fresh off or on the tail end of it, junior, senior. Either which way, it always knowing in the back of your head that it's just, you know, one little step along the way, and then as soon as high school's done, then it's a whole different world afterwards. Don't take a language. That's your first mistake. That depends though, Meeple. It depends on the school and the curriculum. Because like for my high school, you had to take one. You got to take a choice as to which one you took, but you had to take one. Will says, favorite Elsa move. Fight Jugs, back away when he uses Unstoppable. He charges, block, shoot him back in the face. It's like popping packing bubbles. It is. It is. And it's just so nice, too. It's one of the reasons why I love Elsa as much as I do. Just such a fluid playstyle with the evade that she gets and being able to counter annoying stuff like that. Like the feel of the fight flows very nicely from combo to combo. Like for other champions, it's like, you know, medium, light, 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 medium, parry, medium, light, 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 medium, parry. And it gets so dull and repetitive. At least for Elsa, she can mix it up a little bit more. Speaking of which. Poor Yellow Jacket. Poor Yellow Jacket. Dude didn't stand a chance. Be more small turkey. Just push through. Pay attention. Meet the right people. And you'll make it. It's good advice. Absurd is the correct word. I never, ever, ever like comment, criticize anybody's spending choices, and if they're in a position to be able to put up that many Odins for a champion, then, you know, all power to them. It's just disappointing to hear that that statistic exists. I think is where I'm coming from the most. It's just really disappointing that that statistic exists. He also has the highest arena score, I think, over 350 million. Was that the guy who did also 200 mil for Doom last year, perchance? Because at the time, that 200 mil for Doom was the highest arena score recorded. I haven't been keeping up too terribly much since then, but I'm not surprised it's hit 300 by now. What up, Exhilarate? Howdy, howdy. It's mad what people put up for the gifting. When Cal quit, he put up 80K in 1 month. Yeah. Everybody enjoys the game in their own way. Not my cup of tea. But, you know, if they have fun doing it. He was open to 180 calves each time. Okay, so that's like almost... Well, that's actually 18 Odins. That's still a lot. I remember the cow videos too. He sometimes got featured, sometimes not. Then come back with a second round. Nathan, he was a dentist. Or was in the dental industry. If memory serves. Cyber says, have you had corn pops? I did. That was a number of weeks back. I wasn't much a fan. I wasn't much a fan. It was a bit bland for my liking. And I don't need like sugar assaulting my taste buds for me to think that it's good or it's delicious or whatnot. And inversely, I don't need it to, you know, I had Wheaties, which are also very like one note. But I don't know, corn pops just wasn't doing it for me much. Redwood says, ripped all the units I spent on the Medusa calves. It wasn't 40 or 80 Odins, but yeah. Hey, it's whatever it is to you, you know. It's whatever it winds up being to you. Everybody's comes at it from different angles, different backgrounds and whatnot, so 80 Odins is probably, still probably can feel that at that level. but it's different too. I hope. I hope. Wish I could be in high school again. I'd have done things very different. I halfway agree with that. I would have done things differently too. And certainly if I was like had that kind of routine again, I certainly would do things a lot differently. But at the same time too, looking back, I kind of needed to make a lot of the mistakes and a lot of the cringe that I went through to kind of just like as like lessons, I suppose, of what I want to do, what I don't want to do, and what, you know, all that. Reaper says, can't wait to pull a 5 or 6 star Red Goblin. Here's to hoping. If they wind up doing a Halloween-esque event like they do the last couple of years, I would be very surprised if Red Goblin did not find his way into one of those like themed monthly calves. So you might get lucky out of there. Whoops. I'm a freshman. So advice for a freshman. I would say probably a number of different things, and this is sort of kind of what I was touching on just a minute ago. Like it's twofold, because on one hand too, don't be afraid and don't be ashamed to try different things, try new things, meet new people, talk to different people, different kinds of people. It's easy to say don't care and don't buy into drama between either like friends or different cliques or different groups or whatnot, because it's easy to say that, but it's hard to do. Because like it'd be easy for me to say, it's like, oh yeah, if I was back in high school again, I wouldn't care what people said or thought or whatever. I just do whatever I wanted, whatever would be fun, or being honest with myself. Which is good advice, but it's hard to do, right? Honestly, I think the best advice that you could get as a freshman is to just always be honest with yourself. Always be honest with yourself, you know? Like, there's always a lot of, you know, either trying to impress a lot of different people, whether it's friends, whether it's, you know, either people who are being mean to you or being mean to other people, you know, people you're trying to impress romantically, whatever. Like, don't go out of your way to try and pretend to be somebody you're not. Like, put yourself out in such a way where it's like, yo, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not having fun. You know, you build yourself up as, you present yourself as one thing, but it's really like not something that you would do in any other situation, if that makes sense. And then to always treat anybody and everybody else with a certain level of respect. And that's something, one of my bigger regrets from high school, because I got it from both ways, right? Getting kicked down a little bit, and then at times I was the one doing some of the kicking down too. And at the time, you know, it was like, you know, playing around for laughs, playing around for kicks or whatnot between either my friends or, you know, or being the butt of the joke. But just, it's really trying to put yourself in somebody else's perspective. But it still is really good advice. Because everybody, no matter how cool or whatever that, or however they present themselves, everybody's going through the same thing. Nobody knows who they are yet. Everybody's still trying to figure it out. Everybody's trying to have a good time too and enjoy life outside of school. Because, I mean, hell, you got your whole high school experience ahead of you, and that's just school. After that, I mean, sky's the limit. But just always trying to, you know, go out of your way to be kind. Like Bill and Ted say, be excellent to one another. And that's what grumpy old man Rob has to say about that for one night. Man, back in my day. But he says to each their own, but I just can't spend big money on crystals. It hurts. Little here and little there on deals for Cyber Weekend and let my luck otherwise fall where it may. That's good. With all the gotcha mechanics. Nigel says, I angered my friends today by using a 6-star skill awakening gem on Shang-Chi instead of Nick. Okay. But I love the guy and run the Ouchie Masteries. Dude, I would have done the same thing. I am a part of a very small minority that does not like Nick Fury. I don't like Nick. I don't like how you have to play him. I think his damage output is nice, but I think it's extremely niche. I would have done the exact same thing. Because Shang-Chi is great. He just needs to be Sig 1 to get like practically the max benefit of his Sig ability. So, you know, they can be mad all they want, but honestly, I think you made the good choice. I agree, Rob. It should be illegal to spend that much time on the game and not get a champ. Yep. I agree. So I think champs should be milestones instead of anything else. Make it difficult to get milestones so you can't just easily spam it, but still make it something that is obtainable. Delicious says, yeah, Cowell. How many know about the couple of times you refreshed the whole way? Honestly, I mean, if you've got the units to burn, refreshing is the best way to go. Because it buys you a bit more of your life back. I just noticed Super hasn't streamed in like a month. Yeah, I've been wondering about that. I know Super had some stuff popping up there the last couple of weeks that he was streaming. But then, I don't know, it's interesting just seeing people pop up and stream for a good bit, and then they kind of fall off the face of the earth for a little bit. You wonder, you hope they're doing okay. They're just, doing something different. But it's always sad to see people drop off. Vader Bomb says, "Sup? What up, Vader Bomb? Happy Monday, happy Labor Day, and welcome to the Serial Stream. How's it going?" Because, like, at the same time, like, speaking of which, like, I haven't seen Gonzo stream for a good while. I haven't seen People's Champ stream for a good while. Maybe I'm just not observant, but I hope those guys are doing alright. That's the one. Buddy says, just be nice to people and things usually work out pretty well. That is a fantastic TLDR. Did you see Shang-Chi yet? No. I wasn't able to see it this weekend. I would like to see it soon. But I don't know when that's going to be yet. I want to see it. I'm hearing more and more good things about it, which is very encouraging. But not yet. I'm trying to avoid spoilers like the plague. I'm really trying to avoid spoilers. I just know that the longer I go without seeing it, the more likely it is I'm going to get spoiled. Also, 4 years of high school seemed like an eternity at the time, but in hindsight, it went so fast. Now my 15 years working at Boeing seems like time flying by. Yeah. Like, I miss a lot of the friends that I had in high school, and I think the thing I miss the most, just looking at it from like a 30-something-year-old perspective, is I miss having so little responsibility, you know? So yeah, just had a lot more leeway to either just not goof around, but to just do things at your own pace and play around with things and explore and learn, and without a whole lot of repercussion, I think. And still having like as much of a blank slate, I suppose, as to what you want to do. Oh, another piece of advice. Don't feel bad about not knowing what you want to do with your life. Honest to goodness, everybody in high school is like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? What are you going to do? What do you want to be? I don't know. Especially as you get closer, you're like your junior or senior year. Where are you going to college? What are you going to do? What do you want to major in? What school do you want to go to? Blah, 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 blah. Dude, I don't know. Because the thing they don't tell you is that once you finally do pick what school or what trade school you're going to afterwards, you still don't freaking know once you get there. Just because you're in college doesn't mean that like 3 months between the end of high school and the start of college, you suddenly figured out every facet of your life and your whole life's ambition. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. I don't feel bad about changing your mind or trying out something new for a little bit. Now's the time to do it. Samuel says, I totally agree. 6 stars should be a milestone, not top 100. Yeah, if nothing else, they could just like experiment with the basic arena. Have the basic arena be a milestone. If you really wanted it to be like fair to people building up their accounts, their 6-star rosters, have it as a milestone. Don't compete against people who just dwarf their accounts just because they've been playing longer. That's not fair. I'm getting my 5th 6-star tomorrow. Very nervous. We got Claire, White Mags, Miles, and Aegon unduped. Well, I wish you the best luck on pulls, and I hope you pull somebody that you're happy with. There's a lot of champs out there. Reaper finally got a 2-star Hyperion. Well, there you go. It's game over now. I'm so glad that I didn't go charging in with him with a freaking Heimdall on the squad. That would not have gone well. Meatball says, high school was a roller coaster for me, but it started worse than it ended. So hopefully college is better to me. I start within the week. Hey, good luck. It really depends, I suppose. It really depends. I went to a college where effectively the first 2 years of the 4-year degree was rehashing a lot of the stuff that you wound up doing in high school just because you got to qualify for the college's version of basic education. Even though you flaunt your high school diploma or your GED. It's like, yo, I just did this for the last 4 years, few years, whatever. And the college is like, hey, that's nice, but we don't care. You're doing it again. Definitely an adjustment, says Cyber, that's for sure, but I'm sure you'll adjust perfectly. Yep. Just give yourself the grace to kind of just take some time and figure it out, too. Just keep at it. And that's the key, says Redwood, and that's coming from a twice junior college dropout. There you go. Piece of advice, adds Reaper. If you don't feel ready for college out of your city right out of high school, it's probably best to take classes locally at first. Also, nothing wrong with working for a bit and experiencing life. Yep. The best thing I got out of college was figuring out myself a little bit. A lot better. You get the degree and you meet a lot of cool new people and, you know, grow up an awful lot too, but best part I got out of college is just figuring out who I was and who I wanted to be. Or at least, you know, who I wanted to try and be. You're always working at it, but who I wanted to try and be. I've not even started and already I'm debating dropping out a year into it to go do something else, but hey, we'll see how much I like it. Always have a plan. Or an idea, a loose plan at the very least. That helps. Because that's the thing, out of high school, time seems to pick up. Doesn't matter what you do. If you go straight to work, if you go to a trade school, if you go to a 4-year, if you go to a 2-year JC, doesn't matter. Time picks up considerably faster than it was in high school. I work remote, says Samuel, but my team is in Everett. Oh man, all you Washington guys. I'll have to move on site once things get better with COVID. I'm so jealous of Pacific Northwest. I think if there was any place else in the country I would want to move, it would be Pacific Northwest. All you guys hogging all that green and water and seasons and all the fun stuff. Because down here in Los Angeles, we have none of those things. Totally agree with not stressing about having an idea of what you want to do. Look at Sir Christopher Lee. He didn't start acting until his late 30s. Oh yeah, and he lived a lifetime before that. Same's true with J.K. Simmons, I believe. And there's a Hopper from Stranger Things. I'm totally blanking on his name. Or getting their big breaks until later on. Everybody does things just at their own pace, you know, in a way that works out for them. Alright, folks, off to figure out my life and then head to bed. Take care, Samuel. Good luck. Good luck with that. Just as a heads up to everybody, level up is still on. Yes, good point. And don't forget to claim those stupid sunglasses if you haven't already. Man, I don't like that objective. I'm always super paranoid that I'm going to forget because it goes out of its way to not tell you. I'm so over that summer event. Like, I still have... I mean, we all still have, like, some of the spicy prizes left to get, but at this point, it's just like, dude, I don't care. It's such a cluster mess hassle to try and keep track of everything. If you got the right tokens to unlock the right prize, and if you're unlocking the right prize to get the best prize later on. I don't know. Why couldn't it have just been a login calendar again? Just have it automatically give you stuff for playing the game. Marm says, hey Rob, when you get a chance, can you check out the good and bad polls section on the Discord? You got it, bud. Got the Rob Von server. It's the official Discord of the channel there. Sorry, I just opened it up to the meme section with PP. You got a link down in the description below if you got questions, comments, concerns about champs to rank up, who to use for which paths. It's a great place to ask. And if you got crystal openings to brag or sulk about, hey, congrats on that Jabari. Is she good? Yeah, situationally, yes. Situationally, yes. Anytime you dash at the opponent, you get a number. You get a timer for Purify, which is fantastic. So you can shrug off incoming debuffs, which is great going up against champs like I-Bomb or A-Bomb too. And then getting debuffs that are like on a timer if you time it right. And then the Purify just gets rid of it. It's not a Nullify. So some champs or some nodes where it's like make you immune to shrugging stuff off doesn't work. But she is a interesting champion. Her whole like hunt mechanism can be a bit like convoluted sometimes. So you definitely want to play around as her and get a better feel for her. But yeah, overall, yeah, she's a good pull. David Harbour, thank you. The future Mr. Incredible. Wouldn't that be something if he is like a live action Mr. Incredible? I don't know how I'd feel about that. Like, I think he could do a good job with it, but just part of the magic of The Incredibles is that it's animated. Like, if I wanted a live action Incredibles, I could watch like anything from the MCU, and that's the exact same thing. It would be done the exact same way. Like, I've seen that movie, or a variation of it already. I don't know. For those of you guys who don't know, The Incredibles, the first one, is one of my top 5 movies of all time, personally. I love that movie. I love that movie so freaking much. The first one. Washington's nice. Not everybody knows that Eastern Washington is more dry desert, which is good as well if you don't like the rain. Yeah, we were wouldn't mind looking at the Spokane area. You guys, it trades the rain for seasonal snow. So I mean, there's that to contend with, but yes, it's a lot drier out east, warmer. Finished the event last week. I'm just getting the 100 6-star shards now each day. There you go. So Reaper, you wound up getting each of those different like weekly boosters then, I'd assume, right? I would never have an event like that stupid summer event again. It's legit one of the worst things in the game. I have no idea why it was pushed out as it is. It feels rushed. It feels rushed. It feels like they had an idea of what they wanted to do and ran out of time. So then they just forced it out of the door and we got to stick with it for 3 months. If you don't pay for the other pass and miss a week like I did because I left and came back to the game, it feels useless. It is. It is. It's just to get the loot a little bit faster, or if you miss. So it's interesting that they... I mean, I guess it's kind of nice that they keep offering it like once a week. But that kind of feels like they're implying that you need to get it, as opposed to like this is something that just top you off. Does she need an awakening? I would have enjoyed this. Sunspot it skipped over. Kinda. And kinda high Sig too. Because her Sig ability gives her hunt ability a longer timer. And when she's on the hunt, then that's when she can really like start dealing out some crazy bleed damage. So the longer it goes, obviously the more damage you do. Doesn't need it, but it's a real nice to have to really like capitalize on the most of her damage output. Stumbling all over myself there. If you don't pay for the other pass and miss a week like I did, oh, got that one. I agree, Rob. They should never turn that into a live action film. Yeah. Here's to hoping, but it's also Disney, so if there is a dollar to be made, they will milk that cash cow and bleed it dry. Is there any other way to get these Marauder shards other than the login? Yes. I am willing to bet you all of the units in the game. All of them. Every single unit in the game, I am willing to wager. That's in a week or in 2 weeks, they're going to have like a daily login bundle where you get like 4,000 or 6,000 in addition to all the other stuff. I guarantee it. But yeah, other than that, no, those are the only sources right now. Thoughts on the hood buff? It's stupid. It's not as stupid as Gamora's buff or Ronin's buff, but it's stupid nevertheless. It's like, hey, giving them that bullet mechanic, it's like, that's kind of nice. But they still wound up taking away his Fate Seal. They turned it into a Nullify. And that's a huge difference because they've been actively nerfing or impeding Nullify in quests and champion kits, attacking Nullify specifically. Whereas Fate Seal doesn't have a counter and is much more rarer. So they wound up like buffing Hood and then saying, oh yeah, we're gonna change it. We're gonna revert the buff back to the way it was. And then we're gonna work on it and bring it back with something different. And then when they did, several months later, it's the exact same thing with Nullify for a special 2 instead of a Fate Seal. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. When we do these buffs and these tune-ups, we don't want to change the character's kit. We don't want to take stuff away. We only want to add to it. Yeah, well, see how well that's been working out. Like, on one hand, you got your Magnetos out there, where they did take stuff away from Magneto, but he's so friggin' broken good now that nobody cares. But then you've got champs like Daredevil Hell's Kitchen, where you take away his entire kit, and the kit that you put in place of it not only is totally different, but functionally less useful. But now they're doing 2 champs a month so they can focus more and really deliver a better experience, and I hope to goodness that they do. I really do. I really do hope that lightened workload delivers like more refined, better tuned buffs to characters that actually need them. instead of Gamora. Yeah, we're gonna have like a true strike on her special 3, even though by the time she gets to a special 3, in most cases the fight is already over. Why? Why? That makes no sense. That's cheating, Rob. That's what they do every time. Well, you know. Should I use a gem on her or wait for someone like Aegon or Nick? Oh, 100% wait. 100% wait. Yeah, definitely. A person would love to see a gritty reboot of The Incredibles directed by Zack Snyder. And it focuses on the heroes being hunted down when they were being outlawed. 80% slow-mo, all rainy. Oh yeah, like with a monochrome filter over it too. Bob just like rips off his uniform and he's got like an 8-pack over his beer belly. Jack has like this stellar chiseled chin with this like epic beard. Last Airbender fans like to pretend like the movie doesn't exist. Oh, they made a movie of it? No, they didn't make a movie of it. Just like with the Dragon Ball series. They haven't made several movies about that. We're still waiting on a good one. I remember my wife liked The Last Airbender when we watched it. It was a good show, and then they made the movie. Yep. Let's take the source material and ignore it completely and just make up our own thing. So we'll see how they do with The Last of Us show on HBO. Like, they've still got the creative team behind the game at least involved on the development of it, so maybe. All I know is that Pedro Pascal is going to make off like an absolute bandit with the paycheck he's getting off of that show. My only hope for that is that they bring something new to the show that wasn't in the game. Because otherwise, why would I want to see the game play out the exact same way again? And they have a definitive end to it too, that where it's not like turns into The Walking Dead, where it just goes for like 11 years and everybody's just so sick and tired of it, and it's just like, just end it. Just end it. What was Gamora's buff? They added a True Strike to her Special 3, basically. They gave her a little bit extra cooldown, I think, on the Godslayer ability, but it's pretty nominal. Other than that, it's nothing to write home about. It's basically like the same thing as the Ronin buff. It's like, oh, they buffed Ronin? I couldn't tell. That's exactly the point. The Caps deserve the Magneto and the Colossus treatment. I agree. A World War II Cap at the very least. I think they said at some point they want to keep like the standard champs like Spidey, Iron Man, Cap, Hulk, kind of the way they are as like the beginner introductory champs, where it's like these guys are easy to learn because they have no abilities. So there's nothing to memorize. Which would be great if you actually wind up getting those champions as soon as you start the game. Because if you wind up playing for 6 months and then you get your first OG Cap, you're like, wow, this guy is useless. You know what they need to do for the Dragon Ball series? Is just have like a fan come in and make like a 15-minute fan movie. And they would do that right, you know? It's like there was that fan movie of Uncharted with Nathan Fillion. And it's like, that's all it needed to be. That's all it needed to be. I wouldn't want to see like a show, like a full-on show or a film or a series about it, but that was just enough. They hit the nail on the head. It was very cool. Some of the non-canon Dragon Ball movies are pretty good. Yeah, but are you talking about the anime, or are you talking about the live action? Because the anime ones, even though they're not officially full canon, are good, yes. Live action, though, that's, well, that's different. Andy says, question of the day, if it keeps getting worse and Kabam refuses to acknowledge and do something about it, that would break the game for you. I would agree with that. I would certainly agree with that. Break the game for me, too. I don't know, I'm coming at the whole situation right now with like a with a experience of both 12.0 and then the whole like overheating scandal under my belt already. It's like, I've survived 12.0 when they fundamentally changed how the game is played. I survived phones overheating and melting because reasons. And because back then, not only were devices overheating and permanently damaging your device, but the game went into maintenance like every other hour basically for days. You could never get comfortable because you never knew when the next unscheduled maintenance was going to be. All right, long shot. All right, buddy. Take care, bud. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. You say about the simplicity, but they have literally placed some of the hardest defenders in early content when they did the champ placement updates because of some of these buffs. Yup. Okay, cool. Yup. Whoops. Have fun fighting those guys with your OG cap. Dragon Ball Evolution wasn't bad, to be honest. They explored a different interpretation of how these characters could be portrayed overall. Pretty good movie written by somebody who skimmed through a DB wiki. Yeah. I wouldn't mind like a reinterpretation of it. Again, it's like I was saying with the Last of Us series. I don't want to see the exact same thing that we've already seen several times now, both in the manga, again in the anime, and then in the various different anime, not reboots, but each of the different series. It's like, do something different. Keep it interesting, keep it fresh. The overheating scandal? Yeah, Cyber. So there was an update that they did a couple years back where, for whatever reason, I forget what it was, by installing the update and then playing for anything more than like 40 minutes at a time, your device, it would start to overwork the processor and heat up your device to the point where it was starting to melt some of the internal components, in addition to being a actual physical hazard, because if you didn't have a case and if you're just holding your phone vanilla, you would burn your hands. So you'd have to stop playing for a while for your device to cool down so as to not damage your phone. It was contentious, to say the least. I recently finished watching the Sherlock series with Benedict Cumberbatch. I really enjoyed it. Me too. I liked the first series. The second series was even better. They came back for a third series and it was fun. And then they did a fourth series and The fourth series to me was like, hey, let's go get a paycheck. I wasn't as big a fan of that. That being said, just watching the series, it was very, very fun. And that was like Benedict Cumberbatch's big breakout role, you know? Where people are like, who's this Brandy Buck Cucumber guy? Currently rewatching DB's Dragon Ball Super. I'm at the Goku Black arc. So I know the characters, I know the setup, I know the villains, and I know the outcome. I've gotten full on spoiled, and I'm okay with it, but I haven't sat down to watch it yet. I don't know. I think I've missed the wagon, I think, on that one. Like, for me, Dragon Ball peaked with the Cell Saga, way back when. And then, like, sitting through the entire Buu Saga was just like, okay, Toriyama's tired. He's over it. He's writing it like he's over it. And by extension, am over it. Having it come back is cool because then they did GT for a while, and it's like, hey, this is different. And they had Super Saiyan 4, which is like, okay, well, this is totally different. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of all the different levels of Super Saiyanry that they've introduced in the early bits of Super. Just quit out now before it crashes again. Like, now that they've gotten to the point where it's like Super Saiyan God, it's like, okay, that's different. That's different enough. That's starting to get to be a little bit more interesting. Also interesting that Vegeta and Goku are kind of like diverging just a little bit, which is something I am very happy to see. But like, you get Blue, you get Instinct, you get Ultra Instinct, you got Rose. It's just like, dude, I don't need like a rainbow colored hairstyle, dude. I don't know, I think I'm just too used to and still too fond of gold. Like the gold and yellow of 1, 2, and 3. 2's my favorite, of course, but not, again, coming at it having not seen it, just only hearing about it, Instinct seems like it's like a copy paste of Mystic. Like, Gohan found inside himself and unlocked his true potential and became Mystic Gohan, right? Instinct feels like it's the exact same way. Like, to the point where it's like, yeah, your hair just doesn't change anymore. But I don't know, again, having not seen it, and that's my outsider's 2 cents perspective on it. There's also a before Super came out, so I mean, this comic's been around for like 10 years plus. It was a fan comic online. It was, let's see if I can find it, if I can remember it. It wasn't like Dragon Ball Multiverse, but it's like that idea. And I think Super wound up playing on this a bit for the tournament of, what do they call it, Tournament of Gods, something like that. Where you take me see if I can find it. So obviously you've got the standard Z fighters, right? But then also they are pitted in one big Budokai Tenkaichi, big old tournament, right? Against different dimensions, right? So it's like, what if? It's basically what if. What if the Saiyans arrived on Earth and killed Goku and took over, right? So you still had, Vegeta leading a pack with, Nappa and Raditz and everybody. What if Frieza didn't blow up a planet Vegeta? What if Boo successfully absorbed everybody? What if the androids, the androids from Future Trunks weren't killed by Future Trunks? Lop all those guys together in one big, tournament of champions. So I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. That's fun. I think it is Dragon Ball Multiverse. Which sounds really trite now that Marvel's doing multiverses and then Super exists. But that's basically the gist, right? It's like, what if Bardock wound up being the legendary Super Saiyan and wasn't destroyed by Frieza? It's interesting. It was very interesting to me. Which update was this? I don't know, 14, 15, somewhere in there. It was a few years ago at this point. Times like those, playing outside at night during winter was a free cooling system for the device. Yeah, pretty much. You need to have like your own cooling pack. Super Duper Boo says, you're not missing much. Not watching it. It's fine. Okay. Actually, speaking of the comic, since I have it up, if anybody's interested in reading, it's dense. It ran for several years. It is a long read, but it is very interesting. Super Saiyan 3 is probably my favorite form, though, says Cyber. Very cool. Cyber says it should have ended when Trunks split Zamasu in half. Let's see if she goes invisible. Nope. Beautiful. Cyber says Boo Saga was such a mess. It was, I don't know, like there's a lot of things about the Boo Saga that I thought was really cool, and there were a lot of things about it that were incredibly dumb. The Kaioken Goku does in the Ocean dub of the World's Strongest is top 3 for me. The one where he is frozen, and the one he does after. You can hear the agony in his voice. It sounds like a friggin' hurt. Yeah. I didn't know you could change Venom's buff with a heavy attack before the Clintar buff timer refreshes. The current buff, anyway. I think so. Pretty sure. Have you seen OG Dragon Ball? I've read OG Dragon Ball. I think I started watching some of the anime of OG Dragon Ball, but I never got through it. The manga is just so much better. In both cases, I think the manga is a lot better. The only thing from the anime that they did so much better than the manga was the Super Saiyan transformation. Like, in the book, it just happens. It's like one panel, he's like, oh no, Krillin's dead. And then he's like, you won't get away with us. And then he's like, bleh, and then he's Super Saiyan. Whereas in the show, it's like, hey, this is a legendary thing. This has not happened in eons. We just killed off Krillin again. He ain't coming back. This is cool. And they gave it its proper due. So that was very nice. But otherwise, the bloat really started to get me too. You're 100% right about Dragon Ball Super taking inspiration from the multiverse fan manga for some of the things in the tourney. Some plot points are ripped right out of it. So I'm kind of glad I read the fan manga first. Just to know that it exists, to have, like, coming at it from that perspective. Berserk says, hey Rob, how many points you putting up? At least 110. We'll see how far I go from there. Majin Vegeta, for instance, super cool. Yes. Yes, very, yes. I wish they kind of would have run with it a little bit longer. But yes. Kid Buu screaming and tearing a hole in reality was insane, though. Yeah, they haven't really... Again, I don't know what they're doing in Super, but they haven't really done that since. And also, is Oob a character in Super? Or did they just kind of, like, leave him on Earth? They're like, okay, bye, guys. You can hang out with Dende here. I liked Kid Buu, but I think they wound up spending too much time with Gotenks and Kid Buu. And I just... Goten, Kid Trunks, and Gotenks is probably my least favorite part about the whole Buu saga. In the anime especially. The manga is one thing, but the anime especially, I just find them very annoying. Because, like, for me, they're the crux of, like, why the Buu saga went downhill. Because, like, on one hand, it's power creep. But on the other hand, because they don't take anything seriously, it's written in a way where they aren't taking anything seriously, which means it really dampened the stakes for me. Oob is being introduced in the upcoming Moro arc. Interesting. So, like, he is not canonical right now? So that, like, they retconned the end of Z? Because I know they just recently brought back Broly, made him modern canon. The idea of fusion is cool, yes. I'd agree with that. And you got friggin' Vegito being just a monster. And then different ways of fusing with, like, Gogeta. Stop it with this special spam, dude. Stop it. I need those specials. There we go. He's mentioned in Super, but not really shown. Okay. I'm surprised he didn't get brought along for the Tournament of Power. Because, I mean, he's friggin' Boo. So that immediately makes him one of the most powerful beings on Earth. Probably behind Vegeta, right? I mean, Krillin is the strongest human. Kid Buu was stronger than Mystic Gohan. And Piccolo's keeping up, but he's kind of fallen off. And then Fat Buu I don't think really counts anymore, right? Cyber says, I hate Gotenks. Yeah. I don't think in the original English dub, when they had like Vegito and when they had Gotenks, that they had both voice actors recording over each other for the voice of the fused character. I think they just picked somebody and had one voice as opposed to two. That also annoys me. Because if they were truly fused, and if it's a permanent fusion where they can never be unfused, they would have one voice, not two distinct voices talking over each other. Granola is a very interesting character to me. I have seen nothing or heard nothing about that, so I've got no idea who that is. So is Potara limited or unlimited? I think it's unlimited, but the wearers can only use them once. Reaper says Fat Buu is going to be in the Tournament of Power, but he ends up falling asleep. He would. I also kind of hate Fat Buu. He was just interesting enough, and then started to get just annoying enough, and then they kind of like cut away from him because he wasn't the focus anymore. So I was like, all right, I got just enough Fat Buu action in the comics for my liking. Really, was he though, Boo? Because like Kid Buu was going toe to toe. Actually, no. Here, remind me. Because Kid Buu was going toe to toe with Super Saiyan 3 Goku, right? But I don't remember if that's because Goku was just so exhausted at that point that's why it was an even footing. Because if it was an even footing, then no, Buu would have been stronger. I think, right? If I'm remembering it right. Because the only reason that that Buu was able to beat Mystic Gohan in the first place was just catching him unawares, right, and absorbing him. That's the only way he was able to win that. Music Man Joe's stream just died? That sucks. But since Fat Boo fell asleep, Frieza took his place in the Tournament of Power. Oh, that's right. And then Frieza has a gold form now, right? Because of course he does. And he's kind of like the new anti-hero of sorts. He's the new Vegeta. He's not a hero, but he's kind of just hanging out, playing ball. Just because, like, Vegeta is now he's just chilling. Man, that battery drained fast. Potara fusion is only unlimited if one of the fusion materials was a Kai. That was a super retcon. Okay. Super Boo is the most intimidating. Yeah, it was the most interesting too, because he could actually like talk and interact with people. He wasn't a child like Kid Boo or like Fat Boo, and he wasn't just like an untalking menace like Kid Boo was. He's the new anti-hero, leaning more on the anti part. I hope so. Some things you shouldn't be able to come back from, like planet-wide genocide. I mean, preferably not, right? Be a heck of a message for the kiddies. Goku says, I could have beaten Kid Buu if I didn't mess around and give Vegeta a go at him. And then Super Saiyan 3 Goku isn't as strong as Mystic Gohan. Gohan at that point was the most powerful Z fighter. Was he? That's such a letdown, because I've always felt that like Gohan got shafted. Like, he had his moment in the Cell Saga where he finally was able to embrace his full potential, and then got a re-up with Mystic Gohan, but then he was slapping around Buu a little bit and then got absorbed, and then that was it. And then GT, he was like, then he was just like full on in his studies and he didn't fight anymore. And I don't know what they're doing with him in Super, but it doesn't seem like he's forefront on the action anymore. Because that was kind of the thing. I was pretty happy that Goku died at the end of the Cell Saga. I'm like, cool. They've been building up to this for the entire arc, the entire saga so far. For Gohan to take Goku's place. Like, that's what it's all been building up for. And then they're like, nope. We're going to stick with the tried and true formula of the Z Fighters rising up against whoever's like the new strongest dude, getting slapped around a bit, and at the last second, having Goku come out of nowhere and just save the day. Again. So, like in this current arc, Vegeta has gained a new form, something similar to God of Destruction, since Beerus has been training him. Ultra Ego. Yeah. It's the last thing that dude needs. It's such a letdown. Basically sums up Gohan's character. Yeah, pretty much. You know what I wish they would have done more with, though, too, was Videl. Like, I really dug the idea of that character. Especially since she wound up being not just, like, a one-off random character. But then, like, after the tournament, they're gonna go fight Bobbity and whatnot. She kind of just, like, decides not to come with, and that's it. That's it. They did my boy Piccolo dirty in the Tournament of Power. Poor friggin' Piccolo, dude. Piccolo easily being the best father character in Dragon Ball by a mile. BB says, I've stumbled into a Rob Draven Ball. Good lord, that's a mouthful. Draven Ball stream. You have. We've been all over the place tonight on stream. It's been rather entertaining. I'm also getting no data. That's fun. Stream seems to not want to cooperate. It's back now, but it was flashing. It's like, you're not transmitting data. I'm like, wait, what? Why? No reason. So since we're on the top of Dragon Ball, have you guys seen Dragon Ball Abridged? The parody series here on YouTube? Please tell me you have. It has fundamentally reshaped the way that I enjoy the series. And anybody who has even a passing appreciation for the source material would absolutely enjoy it. That weird feeling when we hunt for a specific champ through all the crystals and finally get it, and he still sits at rank 1 level 1 because your other priorities. It's APOC for me. Funny how that works, right? But yeah, I've got a number of those. I think a lot of people do, just because rank up resources are so freaking scarce. Astro popping and saying hello, hello. Really late today, but I hope you're good. Sorry for the MOAR Arena run. It's all good, dude. The farther away I get from it, the better I feel. But today's been good. It's been good. It's good to see you. Glad you're here. And you know, I'm just dusting myself off and just keep on going. Videl got wrecked in that fight against Popovich. Yep. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They didn't do anything with her after that. And that's so disappointing because we spent so much time with the character. And then she understandably gets absolutely wrecked by this dude. She immediately heals back as a sensu bean. And that's it. So we're asking about DBZ Abridged. Reaper says Abridged is hilarious. I remember discovering it years ago and waiting for each episode to release. Yes. Yeah, like I was saying, I mean, it has fundamentally contextualized and redefined the series for me. Like, anytime I reread the manga, right, I just hear it in those voices, in the Nappa voice, and the Vegeta voice, and the Goku voice, and the Piccolo voice. It's friggin' wonderful. It's constant comedic gold. How those guys manage to just hit each episode is so wonderful. I don't like any of this, but oh well. And Piccolo with Nail and Kami as the voices in the head. Yeah, and they weren't afraid to do the movies either, which is fun. Lord Slug. And the cooler one was pretty good too. I've been hunting APOC since last year. After the Abyss Nexus, 3 class Nexuses, even got the 10K 2020 offer, and he still didn't show up. At least Mole Man was there to wipe away my tears. Well, that's something. That's something. That's a nice consolation prize. I mean, hopefully you still are graced with an APOC, but yeah, I feel ya. Everybody's got that one champ that just constantly eludes them. Would you rank 5 Sig 200 Guardian? Man. Uh-oh. Rank 5 Awakened Colossus. Rank 5 Awakened CGR, or Rank 2 Hulkbuster? Probably Cosmic Ghost Rider, because me personally, I use him the most out of any of those guys. Guardian's nice, but I wind up using him mostly for the block proficiency synergy. Colossus is cool, but he kind of gets lost in a endless field of other god tier mutant champs. There we go. And Hulkbuster's nice. I would do CGR. Why is that one still green? Speaking of which, Little Green too with friggin' Dende. And Super Kami Guru. Oh yeah, dude. Gohan is out for keeps, right there. Oh my goodness, you got the 6-star Unstoppable Colossus. How many months of saving loyalty was that? The day after I got the Awakening on the 5-star version. So, a couple years. I knew eventually the 6-star was going to be around the corner. I just didn't know when. I honestly had given up hope that it was going to be a thing. But I still had like 2 million loyalty on hand just in the event that they changed their mind. So I wound up having enough day one when it came out. Getting the dupe on that guy, well, that's gonna be a different story. Rule 1 of Popo's training is you don't talk about Popo's training. Rule 2 of Popo's training is you don't talk about Popo's training. And then periodically them doing the DBZ Kai abridged summaries. Like once they got through a whole arc, they just did like a super fast TLDR of the whole last chapter. Friggin' Little Green. I think one of the more satisfying bits about DBZ Abridged is when Vegeta was fighting 18 there. Because, like, you know, in the show, right, she swamps on Super Saiyan Vegeta a good bit, right? But they add an extra level of pizzazz, which makes it so much more satisfying. And then even like the one-offs, like the guy who did Frieza came back to do a Hamilton parody as Frieza. Beautiful. Cell's song at the end, and even just like the building up to a couple of the Cell Saga fights, they wound up doing like other crossovers from other franchises, while Cell's just waiting there for everybody to show up. It's like, oh yeah, what if the Pokemon guys come and fight Cell for a bout? I applaud their creativity. I don't know, man. All you gotta do is find out if the ship has a muffin button. A friggin' muffin button. Guys, we gotta stop talking about DBZ Abridged. You're gonna make me watch the entire friggin' series all over again. I don't have like a week to spare for all of that. But I kinda do. Push-ups, sit-ups, and plenty of juice. All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle. Alright, I'm off to get stuff done, says Boo. Have a good rest of the grind. Be sure to check out my Aegon comic book cover on Twitter if you haven't seen it already. Absolutely, bud. I saw that earlier. That was very well done. Very, very well done. And that's a bad thing, says Cyber? No, it's not a bad thing. Sure beats a lot of what's going on, what they got on Netflix and elsewhere anyway. Slap him around a little bit more right there. Boop. Beautiful. B-E-A, beautiful. Which former Cell do you think is the funniest? Man. I gotta go Perfect Cell, probably. I gotta rewatch it, because I gotta refresh my memory on first form and second form Cell, too. But the third form just stands out. Really, it was the song there at the end, too, that just capped it all off. Because I really enjoyed the actor's run as Cell there at the end. And then especially, like I was saying, with all the different, like, one-offs that they did, waiting for that tournament to start. But the song there at the end was a really nice cherry on top. What about you? What do you think? My last 8 crystals were mean tier dupes. I mean, I'm guaranteed a god tier in my next crystal, right? Yeah, it's got the pity system in place. For every 8 memes, or every 9 memes you get a guaranteed god tier. Wouldn't that be nice? One could hope, right? Oh, uh-oh. Freaking long shot, dude. That's the second time he's freaking nuked a champ tonight. I got tagged that time, so I deserve it, but the last time I didn't. That is unfortunate. Second form is quite hilarious. First form had all the innuendos. That's true, he did. I forgot about that. How many points for a 6-star Medusa? At least 110. How many Odins? That completely depends. Depends on you. Or on everybody. You know, it depends on how many units you got saved up so far. It depends on how many arena crystals you open. Depends how many champs you wind up running naturally off of refreshes. But an Odin usually nets anywhere between 10 and 15 million points, depending on the rank and rarity of the champs you use. So, just extrapolating on that a little bit, you know, whatever it winds up being. But for me, I'm trying to do this unitless. Because, I mean, we got friggin' Kitty Pride coming up later in the week. And that's the real prize. Mangog was the appetizer. Medusa's first course. Kitty Prize is top prize. The Kitty Prize, I said. You should watch a Hobbit stream from last night. J. Paul started a channel where he buys a box of cards and you can buy packs on PayPal. He opens on stream and then sends them to you. That's pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool, PP. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I'm on a bit of a afterglow period right now because I kind of went all in on the evolving skies, right? I wound up getting a boost, like a full-on case, not just a box. I got a case, so I'm good. But man, they short pack those secret rares like it's nobody's business. He did box of the 94 Hildenbrand Marvel Masterpieces. Nice. Never fails. Every time I get unblockable, then no matter what, the bot is always like, well, guess I'm gonna throw my special. The dream Gohan has a perfect cell. When he turns his Goku's face. He's got a little bit of baggage there. He's got just a little bit of baggage to unpack. I'm really glad that they wound up stopping when they did. I don't think I would have enjoyed the Boo Saga for them. Want to watch me drink this guy? What? Who's the next basic? It's going to be Angelo. Yeah, Angelo's going to be a basic champion this week. Why didn't you dodge? Alright, and I need you to hold him for 5 minutes. Wait, Goku, did you just hold a grudge? Only basic I would spend units would be for Corvus and Doom. Yeah, that's fair. I get that. They got Omega Red coming up in about a month. He's pretty tempting too for an awakening. Awakening for me, but just in general. Boink. How long does it take to cycle your 136 stars? A long time. About 2 hours, give or take. If I play everybody, about 2 hours, and then getting into the fives, then it's like another hour and a half after that. That's a lot. Like this whole stream so far has been me just doing 6 stars basically. I'm charging my attack. How do you know Omega Red is coming to basic? Is there a source I can look for? Yes. On Reddit, there is a thread that keeps track of the arena cutoffs. And then by extension, then it also keeps track of the order that the arenas were. Ah, no. Let's see if I survive this. Let me see if I can bring that up here real quick as I'm waiting for the special to play out. Because I'm either going to die right now, or I'm going to live long enough for him to melt. Perfect. Where's that at? Go to this. Go to this. So this is a link to the main doc. You can check out the cutoffs for the 6-star featured. You can cut off the 6-star basic, and then the 4, 5, and 4 basic tab right there is like before they added the 6-star arena. So that's where we're gonna find the basic stuff for right now. So we had Silver Warrior last time. We're on Mangog right now. Angela is this week. Odin after that. Masakra following, and then the should be the nexus between the Crossbones, Howard, and Nova. Assuming, of course, they stick to their guns, but Sensubin. Just throw it at 17. No, at 16. Just throw it at 16. Bonk. How many points do you score to run the entire 6-star roster? 4 or 5 million, something like that. I think. Somewhere in there. 3 million, 4 million. To be entirely honest, I don't think I've ever like stopped to count it out. But a few million every 12 hours, every 11 hours. You either die a hero or live long enough to end up using resources. This is the name of the game right here. I gotta say, I wasn't the biggest fan of what they wound up doing with Hercule in a bridge. Like, I get he was supposed to be like a joke parody in the show itself, but then they kind of flipped that on its head where he was just He was always like, super serious and just straight laced. It was interesting, but I'm assuming it would have been too much. It would have gotten to be too much. You know, I still have yet to run into a rank 4 champion here in Arena. I'm kind of bummed out. I really want to fight a rank 4 to see how many points I would get. But it just hasn't happened. Crash number 3. Dirt coming back saying, howdy, good sir. Well, howdy, howdy. Actually, you know what? That's probably a good point to switch over to a crystal opening as soon as I KO freaking Corvus here, because the game crashed again. Would it really be an MCOC stream if the game didn't crash at least twice? Like, it's gonna be so weird when they finally fix the game and it doesn't crash anymore. It's just become so common. Yeah, Cyber, and then in the Kaya bridge, where he gets hit once and then it just like friggin' just goes crazy and explodes. I am hilarious and you will quote everything I say. Vegeta, what does the scouter say? It's over 9,000. Blah. I'm still so dang happy I duped my 6-star Colossus, as well you should be. As well you should be. It's a very good pull. It is a very, very good pull. And you'll get the rest of that mutant tier 5 before you know it. Get him sitting at ring 3 and sitting or standing tall. And all this shiny, chromy goodness. I say that just because I saw Fury Road again 2 nights ago. For the first time in a while. So join me in Valhalla, riding shiny and chrome. It's 1006, you should be fine. Da na 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 na, Ghost Nappa, da na na na. Da na 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 na, Ghost Nappa, da na 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 na. I'm the serious one. That's the joke. He won't be ranked 3 for a long time. Yeah, but eventually he's gonna. Eventually. That's still cool. Punchy, punchy, punch, pew, pew, pew. Dex. Get out of here, Torch. Silly goose. Alrighty, guys. I got one more fight. Done 7-2 along with every variant, and I'm not Thronebreaker. Yeah, sad day. Well, hopefully, Cyber Weekend here this year is going to be fair and even keeled for everybody. So you wind up getting them remaining percentages that you guys need. One can hope, right? Alright, here's where we're at. 19 mil at the end of day 1. I'll take that. You're going to send the day off on a high note by opening up an ultimate crystal. Now, this is how we play the game. If you guys want to guess who winds up popping out of the crystal, feel free to leave that over in the chat box, or if you're watching afterwards, in the comment section. It's always fun just guessing, just having a good time, just for kicks. Also, oh, hey, Time Master. Welcome, bud. Glad to have caught you. As this is spinning out, I'm going to guess it's going to be a Dormammu tonight. Let's go say hey to BG for the raid. Hashtag Rob Von Raid. And see how that goes. But this has been a wonderful cereal stream. Chowing down on some post-Honeycomb cereal. It was quite nummy. A bit mild, but quite nummy all the same. Please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel. It helps the channel grow. I do very much appreciate that. It is... not Dormammu. I'll be back later in the week for another live stream. Going to be posting a couple videos too this week as well. And keep going with the Medusa grind. So, until next time, I get to see you. Hope you have a most excellent week. What a rush. Alright guys, I'm Rob vonShoe. Till next time all, take care. Talk soon. Stay safe. Be well everybody. Bye for now.